Hello, everyone. Hello, it is the 3 o'clock hour. Please be ready to receive an on-time word from the Lord. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate you. And I'm going to take just a moment to tag a couple of people. So come on in. Thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedules to join me. And I pray that you will receive a fresh refilling, that you will be encouraged, that you will be comforted, that you will hear an on-time word that will lack nothing short of being a miracle. That thing that you've been praying about, that thing that has been concerning your heart and mind. I pray that the Lord will speak to it. He will speak about it. He will encourage you that you are on the right path. And if you're not, that He will make clear and simple the things that He's doing right now in this earth. So come on in, ladies. I am Lakeisha Lewis, and I am one of the founders of the R.U.T.H group. And God has challenged me to go live 30 days. And in that challenge, I have been exposing you and challenging you to believe that God is not angry with you, that He has a good plan for you, and that when He sees you as a queen, His beloved daughter, destined for victory, destined to rule and reign in life. So come on in, family, come on in. And I pray that this word will be an on-time word for you. Please like, share, and tag others. I do appreciate the hearts, the comments that lets me know that I am delivering the word that is for you. So come on in. I do not expect to be very long. I want to be respectful of your time. It is the holiday week, and so I know that people are busy preparing for tomorrow, our Thanksgiving dinner. So please just take a moment with me to get refueled. Preparing and being responsible for the holidays, for family gatherings is very taxing and can be very stressful. So let this be an opportunity for you to steal away for a moment and to do something for yourself so that you can present the best version of yourself to your friends and your family. So welcome to Keisha. I appreciate you. I love you. Jenny, hey, I appreciate you as well. Thank you, ladies, for hopping on. I do have an on-time word, and I didn't know where he was going with it. I was getting a little nervous because it was usually right after I hop off the broadcast, shortly a couple hours later, I have my next message, what he wants me to share. He already starts to pour into me for the next day. And so as I was seeking after him and trying to discern what it was he wanted me to share, he kind of took me in a roundabout way to this message, and it couldn't have been better. I giggled and laughed to myself because it's called It's Time to Eat. While we're waiting for a couple more people to hop onto the broadcast and to this live, I just wanted to let you know that God has been placing people on my heart to just expose what they're doing, that they're pursuing their passions and that they're giving birth to their divine destiny. And yesterday, as we were praying, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. It's Carlicia. She's a part of this group, and I know that she's in the process of birthing entrepreneurship, and she is seeking after giving birth to that extra income for her family. But I hope that you guys will send a friend request, check out her page and see what she's doing. I don't know personally a lot about the endeavors that she is on, but I just wanted to encourage her, because a lot of times It is a scary thing to pursue the things that God has placed on your heart. So I'm praying that as he is taking us into this journey of 30 days, that he will breathe on it. Thank you, Kenya. We got KYC watching with us. Let's Talk Tuesday. Please make sure you check her out. Her videos are on our Facebook page, but then you can also subscribe to her channel so you can be the first one to get notification of that. Make sure you like her videos, share. So we appreciate you, Kenya. Thank you for what you bring to the table. Thank you for being, she is one of the co-founders of the R.U.T.H group. So thank you for everything that you do. If you put the website and the Cash App information on, I will try to pin it. I'm going to try it. Hey, yes, I love you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful young woman of God. Yes, I love you. So today's message is entitled, it's time to eat, y'all. It's time to eat. Hey, Kaishel, thank you for hopping on. I love you. I love that God is just, he's just got his hands on you and he won't let you go. He's got something greater, something more for you. And I know that it can be scary. And sometimes when you hit walls and roadblocks, you question what God has for you, but don't give up. Don't give up, because breakthrough is coming. He is breathing on it. He's releasing it. Just remain in faith. Okay, here I go, Kenya. I'm going to try it. All right. I know you cheering right now for me. Thank you. She's been on my case about pinning this website and stuff on here. So thank you, Kenya. Thank you for doing that for me. I appreciate you. I know, April, you're going to be catching the replay. I know a lot of you will be catching the replay. So thank you again for just taking time to be poured into. I pray that you will focus in on what God has to say in this message. And I pray that it will inspire you to become everything that he died for you to have. All right. So, hey, Jenny. All right. So it is time to eat. And I'm actually going to be reading from Genesis 43. I'm not going to read the entire thing. So in your own spare time, in your own devotional time, please check it out. I'm going to read verses 15 through 17. And then at the end, I'm going to read verse 34. Okay. So, let me see where I want to start. So the men packed Jacob's gifts and double the money and headed off with Benjamin. And as I had heard, which resonated with some of the things that God has shared with me a couple years back, that we are the Benjamin generation. So please pay close attention to Benjamin. It has been prophesied that there will be an outpouring of 5 times more gifts, abundance, treasures, joy, peace, love upon this generation as we share the gospel of Jesus Christ, that God is not mad at us. He has no more wrath because it was poured out on Jesus Christ. He is our portion. So the men packed Jacob's gifts and doubled the money and headed off with Benjamin. They finally arrived in Egypt and presented themselves to Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin, and Jesus is our heavenly Joseph, so when he sees us, this Benjamin generation, watch and see what he does. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the manager of his household, "These men will eat with me this noon." Come on, it's time to eat, y'all. Take them inside the palace, then go slaughter an animal and prepare a big feast. So the man did as Joseph told him and took them into Joseph's palace. It is time to eat. That is the word from the Lord today, that it is time to eat. Thank you, Kenya. I'm going to pin that. All right. I think that's... All right. I don't know if it won't let me pin more than one, but if you put them all in together, I'll pin that comment. I'll try to watch for it and pin it. What God is saying to us in this scripture, what happened is Joseph's brothers, just to give you a little background, sold him into slavery. And then they told their father that he was dead. And so his heart was broken. The father's heart was broken for his son. And where we are right now is that he's in Egypt. He has now become the second in command. God gave him visions. He enabled him to do, he operated in wisdom. And so what was impossible with any other man was possible with Joseph because of the anointing and the power of God on his life. And so Jesus is our heavenly Joseph. And because of the power that is on his life, we have, I apologize. I'm just going to take a quick moment and try to pin that. Okay. He is our heavenly Joseph. So the anointing, so what is on his life is we're going to see how it will unfold in our lives. And so as the brothers went, because there was a great famine in the land, and this is sounding all too familiar because famine actually represents a lack of provision of what you need. And because of the things that we have experienced in 2020, we find ourselves facing a famine, if you choose to see it that way, all based on your perceptions. And I'll dig into that a little bit deeper. But they had already been to Egypt once, and Joseph told them if they did not bring Benjamin back with them, if they don't bring grace and truth and love and hope back to the people, back to him, then they would not receive any more provisions. So they begged their father. Their father allowed Benjamin to go back. And this is where we kind of step in. Now, because of the things that happened to Joseph, because he was in the care of his brothers when he went missing, their father was hesitant on allowing them to take Benjamin with them. And so isn't that just like fear and guilt and shame to tell you that God, we don't know what you're doing, so I don't really want to trust what you're telling me to do. I can't see how this is all going to work out. All I can see is the fear of what has happened in the past. All I know is what I've been through, and all I know is the hurt and the pain that I have felt. So when we get into that place, when we get into that place where we're allowing fear and guilt and shame to speak, we don't realize we're missing that the reset has already begun and that he is trying to set us up. He is trying. See, he thought God is trying to take my son. He thought my son, if I send him back, it's a possibility I'll never see him again. He didn't want to give up his stuff. He didn't want to give up his son. He didn't want to give up what God was telling him to release. Is that you? Is that a prophetic word for you? Are you afraid to give up and to put out into the atmosphere what God is trying to get you to release? I'm going to let you ponder that and be transparent with yourself, because God already knows where your heart is. See, he wants to show you where you are. See, you're relying on yourself and what you can fathom in your own imagination and in your own mind based on past experiences and current situations and the reality. But he wants you to release that because the reset has already begun. We often fear following God's plan because we don't know the full outcome. But it's okay. He can handle that. See, we begin to imagine all kinds of bad things happening. If I do this, if I step out and do that, then we let all these what ifs and all these negative possibilities instead of allowing our imagination to give birth to life and love and the positive things that could transpire if I follow what God is asking me to do. Are you following after the impulses of his spirit? Because the reset has already begun and he's just waiting for you to release that thing. Thank you, Toya, for hopping on. I appreciate you. Thank you, Nicole. And so as we look at the famine that they're facing, we are facing a similar situation right now. There's scarcity. You go to the grocery store, there's not enough toilet paper and paper towels. There's not enough meat supply. So we are in that time where it can, if you choose to look at it from a perspective of the glass being half empty instead of half full, you will see the scarcity. But God. So they couldn't see that God's plan was already unfolding. That's the word for you today. You may not be in a place where you're perceiving that he loves you with the perfect love and that he has a good plan for you and that his plan is already unfolding. In spite of the obstacles and challenges you face, the plan is already unfolding for you. God has already hit the reset. It has already started. And even as we are reading Genesis chapter 43, the reset had already begun for Joseph's family and him. God already was meeting their physical needs. He wasn't just interested in meeting their physical needs, but he did that. He met their physical needs the first time that they came. But upon the second time, in the release of Benjamin, bringing Benjamin back to Joseph, he was going to fully restore their relationships. He was going to restore their physical needs. He was going to restore their mental and emotional, because they carried a lot of guilt and turmoil and shame and fear because of the things that they had did in the past to Joseph. See, God is already doing a reset to restore the things that the enemy has tried to take from you. There is a 5-time increase. He is going to make the enemy pay for what he has stolen. Trust his plan. You see, Joseph, when they first came and paid for the grain that they had got from Joseph, he gave them their money back. So their financial increase, their financial shift had already taken place. But because of the ill feelings that they had in their heart, they didn't trust it. They didn't trust that it was provision. So they were rejecting it. No, they felt like there were strings attached that, there's scandal behind this increase. And that's a word for someone today. There is not a scandal behind the increase in the provision and the financial increases that God has given to you. And there is more to come. Yes, Nicole, for you, there is more to come. Kenya, there is more to come. In this season of famine where we are not able to come together like we normally would, the Lord is taking to social media and he's opening up storehouses for you to be fed, for you to be encouraged, for you to be comforted, for you to find a way to still be connected and to be with the people that you love and care about through social media. This is the place that he's taken to. He's taking back social media. This actually is a God idea. This storehouse is a place where you can come and be fed and have all of your needs met. You see that in this season, God is trying to birth something in you. And sometimes responsibility is hard. A lot of times you may be a single mother, Sophia, you may be handling the household on your own. You have a lot of responsibility. You may be the first person in your family to go after a true relationship with God. You may be the first one who was going to launch out and start a business. You may be the first one to graduate with a degree in your family. You may be the first of many, and that carries a heavy load and a heavy responsibility. But like we said yesterday, he said, come to me. He said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. If you come and get yoked to me, if you and I do this life together, if you stay in tune with my impulses and the move and flow of my grace, I will take the heaviness from you. You see, when you are pursuing the things of God and what he has placed on the inside of you, what you are wanting to birth, it takes an intentionality, it takes consistency, and it takes commitment. But the grace of God is there to help you through that season. Whether you are in your season of being a novice, an apprentice, a practitioner, or an expert, there is always growth with God. And so whatever level you are in, he is equipping you right where you are. Your Heavenly Father is building your character. He's building your confidence, and he's enabling you to complete the work that he has placed on the inside of you. Remember, he said faith, focus, and follow through. Your follow through must be intentional. It must be consistent, and you must be committed to it. What is that? What does that look like? That looks like you taking time and just getting in his presence like you are right now and allowing him to speak to you through a willing vessel, through his word, just in quiet, in prayer. It's about being intentional about what he wants you to do. It's about taking that first step of faith to allow him to then light up the path. He said, your word said that you are a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. He does not always show us the next step. Just like Kenya said in her video, sometimes God will push us. And I had to laugh at that because, man, it resonated deep. Sometimes you like, wait a minute, I ain't ready. But he will give you a push because he knows that you are ready. He's already equipped you. You see, God has given you areas of specialty. He has given you rare treasures, and those are wanted and needed by other people. What you have is wanted and needed by other people. What you have is wanted and needed by other people. God has already given you a sphere of influence, and the people that you are connected to, divinely connected to, they want what you have. They need what you have. They need you to stand up and take your place, Benjamin. I'm going to call you Benjamina, okay? So when you start to walk in the release, do not compromise in this season. Hold tight to the following of the impulses of his spirit. In this season that you are birthing that new thing that God is doing for you. Hey, I got to stop. I told my Aunt Karen, she was on yesterday. I don't know if she's here today, but I told her I was going to shout her out. I love you, Aunt Karen. You are sweet and dear to me. I love you with all my heart. Blessings to you. I speak healing and health and wholeness over you. That as Jesus is sitting in heaven right now with no sickness or disease, I declare it is so over you. In this moment, that he can restore what the enemy is trying to rob you of. That healing can break forth right now, even as I'm speaking. Receive it by faith because he loves you and he has a good plan for your life. All right, I'm sorry. I love you, Aunt Karen. And so I wanted to just encourage you with this word that it is time for us to eat. We cannot miss this opportunity. Don't miss it. Don't reject it. Don't suppress it. Don't reject and suppress the promptings and impulses of his spirit. Don't reject and suppress the flow of his grace. Don't swim against the current. Relax and rest and flow with his current. Because as we look at Genesis 43 and verse 34, listen to what Joseph, our heavenly Joseph, our Jesus, is doing for us in this season. And Joseph filled their plates with food from his own table. Oh, I'm going to tell you, for people who want to dig deeper into this, because God is really speaking to you through this, look up tables. Because look at Psalm 23. There's a table. What is God talking about with these tables? Dig deeper into that. Joseph filled their plates with food from his own table. Jesus is supplying us with what we need from his own table. We don't have to work for it. We don't have to earn it. We don't have to deserve it. The brothers, they did not deserve to be reconciled. They didn't deserve his forgiveness. They didn't deserve his food. They had sold him off into slavery because of their hatred for him. But isn't that like our heavenly Joseph, our Jesus, to just love us in spite of what we have done? So that is what he is trying to renew your mind with. He's trying to get that deeply rooted in your heart that you don't have to deserve it, but he is supplying from his own table. And when he was supplying in verse 34, Benjamin 5 times as much as he gave the others. So they feasted and drank freely with him. 5 times more is your portion. For you being the first to stand up in your family, for you launching your business, for you stepping out and writing a book, for you, Lanisha, for writing a book and telling your story. 5 times as much to break the spirit of religion off of you and to step into the fullness of relationship with God and what he has for you. It is 5 times as much. He has already hit the reset button. He is already having you reflect on the things that he has shown you in the past, the things and the treasures that he's placed in your heart, and he is already releasing the provision. Will you not see it? Will you not perceive it? Will you flock to the negativity? Will you rather focus your mind and your heart on what is not there instead of what is? 5 times as much as your portion. Claim it. Yes, type in the comments 5 times as much as my portion. I declare and decree, and I come into agreement with anyone who will declare it so. Carlicia, your business, your endeavors that you're stepping out and doing 5 times as much. Sophia, your business endeavors, the witty ideas and creativity, the eye that God has given you for party planning and putting crafts together, 5 times as much as your portion. Get busy, woman of God. Get busy, women of God. Get busy. Make sure that when you start to see this provision, make sure that in the little things, whether that's a good parking spot at the grocery store, somebody pays for your groceries, or he opens a door of opportunity, make sure that you share that with someone and inspire the next person. And make sure that you give all credit to your Heavenly Father. Not God. That's for people who don't know him, that ain't in relationship. That's right, Takesha. Get busy, sisters. Because he's establishing his kingdom and he needs for you to take your rightful positions because he is pouring out his spirit. He is pouring out abundance of grace and mercy and truth and love and power and authority in this season. Yes, Jade, he is pouring it out upon you. Yes, Sophia, he's pouring it out upon you. Yes. Winnie, he's pouring it out upon you and your husband and your marriage and ministry. He's pouring it out on you. Yes, Jennifer, my God, Jennifer, great woman, mighty woman of God. Great, anointed, powerful woman of God. I love to life. Yes, Kaishel, Kiara, Yasmin, Kanaya. He's pouring it out upon you. There is a 5 times as much. And as it's birthed, you guys are going to be the ones who support the kingdom. That is why he is trusting you with it. That is why he's blessing you with it. That's why he's encouraging me to do 30 days of this. So that you know that it's time to push and birth that thing that he's given you. Latrice, you are anointed. It runs in your bloodline. He's calling you, LA. He's calling you to greater and more because you have a heart for things of God. You have a heart for people and you don't mind giving. He wants to break the poverty mindset off of us of lack and fear. He wants to change our minds about many miracle signs and wonders. He wants to change your mind about how you see him and perceive him and what he has for you, so that you can become generous and do what he's calling you to do to establish his kingdom in this earth. Yes, you, Kenya. Yes, you, Jenny. Yes, you, Lakeisha. Yes, thank you. Yes, everybody. He has given you something. And guess what? There's room at the table. There is room at the table. He said that the harvest is plenty and the workers are few. There is only going to be a few people who actually bite and take action on this. It requires action. Thank you, Kenya. It requires your action, your cooperation. You are a co-creator with your Heavenly Father, establishing his kingdom. I want to just say something real quick because I don't ask for people to give into I haven't asked for people. Normally, I don't ask for people to give. But if God puts it on your heart to give, I want to talk to you about sowing. Jesus already paid the price. Okay, so he's already giving you your portion. But when you sow into other people, when you are doing good, when you are meeting a need, guess what you're doing? You're expanding your territory so that you can reap a bigger harvest. Your portion has already been set aside. But when you attach yourself to good ground and you sow into good ground because God is leading you to attach yourself to the words that are spoken over your life or somebody who's pouring into you, guess what? It's like he may have given you 500 acres and now you're expanding your acreage into 1,000 acres. You're going to start to reap from other areas. There will be a mighty streams of income coming your way. And I declare and decree there will be deposits made into your accounts. You will go to the mailbox and there will be checks there. I am speaking increase over you. And that as he increases you, he will help you and lead you and guide you to manage that money correctly. Not from a lack perspective, but that it is a tool and that he has provided it abundantly. And I'm believing it for myself as well. Okay. I'm believing for the release of the divine transfer of wealth from the wicked into the people of God. So he is saying in this season, that is what is going to be taking place. That is part of one of the streams that's flowing, is that there will be witty ideas. A lot of old businesses have gone out of business, filed bankrupt, closed their doors because of COVID, because God is actually birthing new business owners and new entrepreneurs. Carlicia, do not give up. Do not get it caught up in what it looks like. Continue to press in. Takesha, continue to press in. Sophia and Kenya, continue to press in. And as I declare and decree it, and as I pray over this word that he has given me for you today, ladies, I pray that you will have the boldness and the courage to not get caught up in the what ifs, but the hope of what is to come. Because it already has started. The reset has begun. So that is my message for you ladies today. Thank you for your support. Thank you for meeting me here at 3 o'clock, the hour of grace, the time of God's outpouring, the time when Jesus gave up his spirit as a gift to us to give us life and to reconnect us to our Heavenly Father so that he could be our standard, so we could deserve the blessings. You deserve it, Monica. You deserve it, Jenny. You deserve it, Kenya. You deserve it. You don't have to earn it. You deserve it because you believe in Christ. You believe that he has already done everything that needed to be done. Now you just receive. We're back in the garden, y'all. If everything was provided for them in the garden. He's trying to renew your mind to get us back in the garden as our Heavenly Father, the one who will provide all of our needs according to his riches and glory. There's no lack and poverty there. There's no sickness, no disease there. So begin to speak life and love. Get you some affirmations. Get your Post-it notes and stickies and get them everywhere to remind yourself, because it is the law of attraction. You're drawing the good in. You're drawing it in. And the more passionate you become about it, the quicker it happens. So yes, ladies, that is my message for today. We have a website, the Ruth Group. I will remain rg.com. I usually post both places, the Facebook group and on the website, because I do have a lot of people connected to me who don't want to do Facebook. And I was one of those people. So if you want to share something with someone like me and I want to send this to them, you can text it to them, email it to them from the website. We also have Let's Talk Tuesdays with KYC. She has a great message. I'm believing God's breathing on that because she's about to turn a corner with that. It's about to become something that's going to blow everybody's mind. So, and then I also started Ruth Moments. I'm Lakeisha Lewis right now on YouTube, but you can look up Ruth Moments. And this is the 30-day challenge. Challenge yourself to get rooted deeply in the love of God, that he loves you. He has a good plan for you. If you feel like God is leading you to sow into this vision, that you want to divinely connect to what God is doing, the things that has been spoken over your life, you can certainly do so at Cash App. It's the $ remain unshakable. The enemy wants us to be shaken, but it says in scripture, only those things which are unshakable will remain. And so he's shaking off all of that crud, all of the brokenness, all of the hurt, all of the disappointment, frustration, and anger, depression off of you, so that only the things of God, the wholeness and peace and love and joy remain. So I love you ladies to life. I will be here tomorrow at 3. I am going to try to stop. I'm not one of those people who have everything done the night before and at 10 o'clock dinner or 12 o'clock. So I may have to stop in the middle of what I'm doing, or with the grace of God, I'll have it all prepared and we will have eaten and I can come and just hop on for a few minutes. So even if you, like me, a lot of times if I can't actually physically watch, I'll turn it on and listen. So even if you're in the middle of preparing or you need to sneak and get away from family, friends, or you just need a woosah, I probably won't be as long as 30 minutes. I don't know. I don't have my message for tomorrow. So it just depends on what he says. It may just be a time of thanksgiving and gratitude. We may just declare and decree some affirmations to help solidify the things that God is doing in our lives, so that our minds can go deeper into agreement with what he's doing, the move that he's taken. So I do appreciate you ladies. I love you to life. Thank you for everything that you guys are doing. Thank you for being bold and courageous for yourself and for your families and for all those who are connected to you. I really appreciate you taking the responsibility of standing up. So may God breathe on you. May he love you. May many miracle signs and wonders follow this word. Until we tomorrow, 3 o'clock, the hour of grace. See you. Love you. Happy Thanksgiving. It's time to eat.